Hi there, and welcome to Real Life in Real Estate. We are in for a very fun day today. But you know, here at Real Life in Real Estate, we're here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. And today, I've got a very exciting, vibrant, full of life guest. And it's going to be a great day because with me in the room is Heather Haase. So good to see you. And I just want to say, I know Heather. She's local in my market, but the crazy thing is to spend time together, to actually get to see her and talk to her. I traveled to Oklahoma City where she ran a national speakers conference, an educators conference, because she does a ton of speaking and education across the country for realtors. So anyway, I'm so excited to have you. We're going to learn all about you and everything that you do today. But welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I love that intro, vibrant. What if I just the whole time? Yeah.
What if you forgot your meds? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. No.
Thank you so much, though. That was a really great introduction there.
Well, I just that's one thing about you. You say, I'm Heather Haase, but
you can call me Sunshine.
You can call me Sunshine. Where'd that come from?
Oh my gosh, that is actually I teach this in one of my classes because I feel one of your best indicators about what you are special in is your community, whether that's your friends, your family, anybody like that. They're going to tell you what you are good at. And so I would go to some of these conferences, real estate conferences out there, like the National Association of Realtors Conference, Ohio Realtors, and people just started calling me Sunshine. They'd be like, hey, Sunshine, all this other things. And one day I was just being silly. This was probably 4 years ago, going to a conference, and I saw there was a nickname portion in one of the registrations. And so I put Sunshine in there. Well, when I get to the conference, and I believe this was NAR San Diego or something like that, they actually printed Sunshine as my name. So it didn't say Heather, you can call me Sunshine. I thought it was going to be Heather Sunshine Haase. No, it just said Sunshine.
And that's what your name tag said and everything?
Yeah, that's what my name tag said and everything. So people really started calling me Sunshine at that point. And then I started realizing that's how people would remember me. They're like, Sunshine, Sunshine. And one of the subjects this is a two-handed thing, because one of the things I teach on is networking.
Okay.
And so it was an anchor for people to remember me. You could forget Heather. You can't forget me. But you could forget Heather.
Right. A normal Heather.
Yeah.
A normal Heather.
A normal Heather. But you cannot forget Sunshine. Sunshine sticks out there. So that was one of my things that I'm like, if you have a nickname, use it, because people will latch on to it, but also for branding purposes. Because I realized I started introducing myself so much as, hi, I'm Heather, but you can call me Sunshine. And then one day I was just like, I'm still in the real estate space and everything like that, but I'm starting to teach and starting to do so much more. Why don't I just change all my Instagram handles and TikTok handles to, but you can call me Sunshine, and really lean into the sunshine. And that's what I've been doing for years.
It's become very much a part of your brand.
It's very much a part of my brand. I get very much associated with pink and yellow. And my company, my teaching company is called Shine On Seminars. It's just sunshine. And now this past year, I even wrote a class called The Sunshine Effect. And it's how to incorporate your sunshineness, because we all have a little bit of sunshine in us. It doesn't have to be bright and cherry, but it's how to incorporate that into your life.
That's awesome. I love that. I'm going to have to take that course.
Yeah.
So, and really it's very fitting, because everything I've ever known about you, you're fun, you're funny. When I watch your social media content, it's like that's someone that loves life, that's bringing sunshine to other people. So I have definitely seen that in you. So let's talk about your real estate career.
Okay.
And how we got to sitting here. So what's been your path in real estate?
No, I was talking to a lady upstairs, a web developer. I'm like, I don't know how long I've known Mark. I'm like, we must have crossed paths at some point.
At
I've
some
been a
point, yeah.
realtor for 9 years. I think like we both worked for HER when
Yep.
HER was a company and stuff. And I think that's really where we crossed paths. But it's kind of like we all just knew about each other. But I've been a realtor now for 9.5 years. May 2016 is when I got licensed. And I have been in a Dayton market the whole time, residential. I started off with a niche in like first-time home buyers, and I've just evolved from there. And then about 5 years ago is when I got into more of the teaching, speaking side of things.
So what is it about teaching and speaking that you love?
I really just love to help people, and I love being creative too. And I get to create all my classes, and I love getting to pour into people and watch them become better versions of themselves in however they choose to, whether or not that's their branding or if it is their education and they're taking things I told them to become a better realtor, better marketer, better whatever it is for them. That is just near and dear to my heart. I love teaching and pouring into people.
Yeah. Now you were a director of training for, was it HER or one of the companies?
Yes.
Or a couple of companies.
So I started off again about 5 years ago. It was November of 2019. I was at NAR conference and I see one of my friends on stage, and there was just like that. You ever get that like little piece inside your stomach that you're just like, something is sticking out to me and I want to do this. Like I want to be on
not
stage.
a hernia. It wasn't like a hernia that was sticking out.
It wasn't bad pizza, nothing. But it was just like that gut feeling like I really want to do this. And I vocalized that to a friend that was sitting next to me. And they're like, you can do this. You do awesome with teaching and everything. You help agents in your office all the time because they don't know all this social media stuff. So they're asking you questions. They don't even know how to Google, some of them. And they were just like, hey, teach me how to do this. And so I was starting to naturally fall into that. And then I get that inkling. I decide I'm going to write this class on authenticity, but I didn't want to do it like I did know Sean Carpenter at that time. I did, Paula Montefiore. All really, really great people. I'm like, but I want to do it differently. And I decided to go more towards networking.
Okay.
Because that is one of like my big things is how to network with people. So I create this whole class. And in the meantime, I was selected to be a part of the National Association of Realtors Young Professionals Network.
Yep.
And that is a huge deal because there's like 1,000 applications and I was one of 6.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. It was awesome. Yeah. And so with that, we have grants to travel around the country and teach to other YPNs.
Okay.
So we had topics to pick out for that. And additionally, at the same time, so January 2020, my company at the time, HER Realtors, they decided to name me the regional director for the Dayton area. Well, fast forward, March of 2020, I was supposed to premiere my class, How Not to Be a Robot in a Digital World, in Orlando at their YPN meeting. Well, March of 2020.
Yeah, what was that thing called? It was a global pandemic?
A little pandemic.
Yeah, it's a pandemic. I'm going for a petty, a Manny, and a pandemic. Yeah, all right.
So that happened and the world shut down.
Yeah.
And so at that point, things really started to change for me, but in a really, really good way. So one of those things was Orlando Association of Realtors saying, hey, we obviously can't have you here now, even though they're in Florida, and Florida was a little bit more relaxed, but they're like, can you do this on Zoom? And can you teach people actually how to network online?
Oh.
And I was like, I guess that's a lot of what I do is networking online.
Yeah.
So I started creating a class for that. And then also in the meantime, I started getting tapped in by a lot of YPNs to teach them online and Zooms and different things like that. So I started building that there. Then my role also changed with HER from the regional training director to the training director for the whole company. And I worked right under the director of professional development, which at that time was Susan Eccles.
Okay.
And we rewrote the whole curriculum for HER, and I helped teach parts of it, including my own content that I made. So that's a very long-winded way of how I got started in all of that.
So, favorite thing to teach today? Still networking?
Ooh, yes, I love networking. My favorite, so I tell people, and I realized this a few months ago, that my favorite thing to teach is connection.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is everything I teach has an element of how to connect with somebody.
Right.
So when I teach branding a lot, that's really how to connect with yourself, to kind of get to know yourself a little bit more, but also how to connect with the audience you want to connect with.
Right.
And then when I teach social media, again, it's connecting with the audience. I teach a lot of theory, not an application. If you want to learn how to do funnels, that's not me.
Okay.
So I can teach you how to do funnels. I'm not the best at it. I will recommend 20 other speakers that are. But however, if you need that first step encouragement to just do it and get yourself out there and feel connected, because that's what a lot of people were missing, where it was social media is a chore.
Yeah.
It's boring, all this stuff. And I just don't enjoy it. So I try to connect that joy for them. And then even with networking, it's connecting with people in person. Networking online, it's connecting with people online. And then I also have some like mindfulness, health, self-help classes. And that was like connecting with yourself and connecting with your brain. And then I even done some other things like for like women's groups and keynotes and everything, and vulnerability, and that's like connecting with others, like friends, how to make friends. When the buyer's agency stuff happened last year, it was I had to reframe people's mindset to get the confidence to go out there and connect with their clients.
Right.
So it's just my
connection.
Teach the art of connection.
Yeah, the art of connection. Okay, so let's talk about the art of connection. I am a new agent, or I am one of the struggling agents right now out in the market. Where do I even begin to connect with people?
So my first letter of recommendation.
Oh, you're writing letters of recommendation. I'll take one.
My first recommendation is trying to connect with agents in your office, because I feel we all need a tribe. We all need you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with. That's what I hear. And I believe it too. So I feel very elevated by the people that I hang around out with. So I think being around the right people, and even if it's not your office, maybe it's your association. I did a networking session last year on networking at NAR, and there was only 6 of us, but the amazing people that just were like, oh, I felt really connected to the people at Women's Council of Realtors. I felt really connected to this group of people in the Professional Development Committee. So maybe it's not even your brokerage, or maybe you just go out and you find friends, like other real estate friends or anything like that. So I think, having that support system there is really big. Plus it helps you professionally across the table and everything. And then the next thing is I recommend finding a niche or finding a team, one of those two.
Okay.
And the reason why I recommend that is my first year in real estate, I sold one house. It was to my mom.
Thanks, Mom. Shout out to Mom.
But so it was to my mom, and I was struggling. I have ADHD, so that's really hard not to tell. But I remember sitting down. He was the AE at our association, and he was a friend of mine too. And he sat me down, and he's like, Heather, you do so much, and it's awesome. He's like, but you need to focus, and we need to get you to focus on one thing. And so I was like, okay. So I sat there and I focused, and he just started asking questions like, if there's one thing in real estate that you could do, what could you do? And I was like, well, I'm new to Dayton. Like, I'm brand new to Dayton. I only knew 2 people. Those 2 people did buy homes from me. But
Man, that's pretty big.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I knew my mom too. So I knew 3 people. But like, I'm new to Dayton. I'm like, first time home buyers. Okay, cool. And I think this is really where the teaching like started. Like, cause I love hand holding, and first time home buyers typically need hand holding a little bit more.
Right.
They've never done this before. They need somebody that's going to walk them through all the details. And so I started creating all sorts of resources for first time home buyers. And then I started connecting with lenders and title companies and anybody that had programs for first time home buyers. And I made sure I was going to be the best darn tootin' real estate agent, first time realtor out there. I made a Facebook group called First Time Home Buyers of Dayton. Started adding people that way.
How did it do? How did your Facebook group do?
It went really well, and I did get a few closings out of it and everything. But something else I started to do, because I was in my office a lot. I worked a lot of front desk time. So and at that time, I was with Caldwell Banker Heritage. And there were a lot of people in the Kettering office that were big timers.
Yeah.
And they saw me there every day, just trying, learning, shadowing, anything. And when I decided I was going to do this first time home buyers thing, I decided I would go around and offer, hey, I know you're busy right now with all your real estate. If you would like me to take any first time home buyers off your hands, I will give you a 25% referral fee.
Wow.
And that's how I started building up my first time home buyers. And
that's great.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then eventually I did join a team. I switched companies, joined a team. And that team, I took a very small cut, but I ended up getting leads, marketing, basically everything done for me.
Yeah.
And, to me, like making 5% less of, I don't know, let's just put out $1 million is way better than of nothing.
Yeah, right.
So, and it took a lot of stress off of me too. And I was with a team for about 1.5 years, 2 years, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. So talk to me about that team time.
Mm-hmm.
And because I see a lot of agents, they come into the business, they flounder.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ones that come into the business and land on a really good team,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they thrive and then they go independent. So what are some of the things that you saw as big benefits of the team besides just leads?
Leads, marketing, camaraderie. Again, those people that you're around. I had to be accountable to my team, and every single team out there is different.
Yeah.
And I think that is really, really important to know. I wrote an article for the Agent Inner Circle back in, I think it was December, and it was all about how to interview brokerages and teams.
Okay.
Because I feel a lot of people, they get caught up in the glitter and glam because we're salespeople.
Yeah, right.
We know how to sell our brokerage, our team, and everything. And it's like, look at all this pretty stuff, but don't look at all this.
Yeah, right.
And everything. And so when if you know Shannon Landers, she's the one that had recruited me over at Caldwell, and now we're back to kind of working together. But she was like, you are the most well-informed new agent that comes to like what the inner workings are. I interviewed 7 brokerages when I was becoming a realtor, and I had a spreadsheet of like, okay, well, where's this? EO insurance, like everything like that, and kind of came to realize a lot of brokerages were very equal, and like, there was one way or another, like they were, they're going to make some money off of you, and they're going to help you too. So that's one of my things with teams. You need to find the right fit for you, because I've heard, I once went to a panel with a team, and one person's like, we'll take anybody that we could get, and we'll just give you a whole bunch of leads, but they're not necessarily training you how to work those leads. So training is a very important thing. And like, then there's one, like, I will not take anybody. In fact, I will turn most people away because I need to make sure it's a right fit, and then my team has to interview them too. And the team I went on, the Loxley Martin group at that time with HER, and he just met me for coffee, and it was very casual. It didn't feel recruiting or anything like that. We were friends on social media. We met on social media through a Facebook group, and he's like, I just want to get to know you. And then afterwards, following, he's like, hey, he's like, I don't know if you're in the market. He's like, but will you meet some of my teammates too? So me and the teammates went out, and then I went to an office visit, and I realized it was much more conducive of the way I wanted to run my business and the things I wanted to do, like social media and everything like that.
So don't just jump at the first opportunity you get.
Yeah.
Is what I'm hearing. Now, obviously you didn't come into real estate and go straight into a team. You actually practiced a little bit and then jumped onto a team. So it's okay if you're a couple years in and struggling to jump onto a team.
Yeah, I've been on 2 teams actually. So I ended up leaving my team after 2.5 years because I was doing okay on my own. And they were about to make a change to another brokerage. I was the training director at the time at HER. So it was a very amicable, like, I'm still friends with Adam. Called him a couple weeks ago. Like, very amicable split there. And then when HER got sold to a different company, my role was changing there, and I ended up looking for the same thing in another space, got hired by another company, and I ended up joining another team there, and that was a wonderful experience, but still completely different. They didn't do leads as much. It was very much, and it was a very high split, but like it was a very much a we support each other.
Give me a lot of back end support. You could actually travel and have someone cover you, maybe. That's one of the. I think that's one of the biggest. It's so hard in this business to travel, and especially for you, you know, traveling like you do, and you still sell real estate, right? So you travel, you speak all over. Man, to have someone cover you.
So great.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing, I think, for a lot of agents in the business is the second they go out of town, they're scrambling. You know, I was out showing a house for my sister actually this weekend. We're not on a team together, but she left town and stuff started happening. So, you know, I know how it goes. So let's talk. I want to get to know Heather a little bit more, because honestly, there's some things that I've admired about you from a distance. One, you talk about authenticity. Like, you're a very authentic person. You're a single mom.
I am.
So what's your daughter's name?
Charlie.
Charlie. Okay.
Charlotte.
How old is Charlie?
She's 14 and almost 14 and a half almost now.
Okay.
So, yes, say your prayers later.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, say them now. Like, if you're listening, you can pray for her now.
No, she's awesome. She is really awesome.
Yeah, one of the things that I've admired from a distance is, as a single mom, I see you pour a lot into your daughter. And even taking her on trips with you to go and speak places, I just think that's awesome. So how are you able to manage, and I believe there's someone listening to this today that needs to hear this, right? They need to hear how Heather has done this. How have you been able to manage selling real estate, traveling all over the country, and still being there for your daughter?
So a few different things. Again, having not only having a good support in real estate, but having that good support at home too. And I live with my mom, like, you know, no shame there. Like, we just knew it.
In the house you sold her?
In the house I sold
her.
So
you were like, hey, Mom, I love this house, right?
we were very much in our Chip and Joanna era back then, too. And we're like, we could do all this stuff. And I'm like, why did we buy this? But it's a great house.
Been there, done that, yeah.
But, like, so that helps out a lot. Like, my mom, you know, my rock right now. Like, she has been there for me and helped support me and Charlie and everything. And we wouldn't be where I am today without her. And so she helps me out a lot with Charlie when it came to work-related things. And then once I started getting into the speaking world a little bit more, my mom didn't do as much 1099 work as I did, but she understood it too. Like she had done things like Primerica and everything, so she understood it, and so she was very supportive of it. And she knew I had seasons, so my spring and falls, whether it was real estate or whether it was conferences, were always going to be busy.
Right.
And we had she's retired, so she's home. And we just had a really good system to work out. And I know if you're a single parent, like a lot of people don't have that system. So sometimes it's really, really working with that. But even still, like friends will become your family too. Yeah. And not that I, say rely on your friends or anything like that. But I, a couple weeks ago, I had to go out of town and my mom had something out of town. So I call my friend Aaron, and I'm just like, hey, if Charlie, Charlie ended up staying with a friend. I'm like, but if Charlie is an emergency, can you get her?
Cover? Yeah.
And same with like my friend Sophia too. Like I called her and I'm just like, just in case.
Yeah.
When I was out of town, when my whole family was out of town, Aaron fed my cat.
Yeah, right.
And these are all local friends that I've had here in my real estate community and everything too. So that's the biggest thing is I do have a lot of support at home. Yeah. And I know not everybody is as lucky as I am with that.
I think that's pretty awesome though, that you have the relationship you do with your mom. And again, admiring from a distance, I always admire people that are successful when they don't have, like I have the advantage of having a wife at home, right? So with my daughter, when I need to leave town and go speak or go visit our offices in other states, I can go knowing that my wife's here to take care of things, and that's, I always just admire people that don't have that, but have figured it out.
My and another thing too, like taking her with me, that just recently has kind of started. I'm lucky she's at STEM school, so if I have to take her out, they're a little bit more flexible with things, but we have to be careful because of project-based learning. But if I'm teaching while she is at, she has a break or anything like that, and I can manage it, amazing. And I really look at, like, what I'm doing that week. I look at how I can easily manage this. So I've taken her on 2 trips. She got to go on one back in March with me. I was speaking at the, not Royal Palm Coast. No, Royal Palm Coast. I was speaking down in Fort Myers area. And I ended up bringing her with me because, like, it was her spring break. And I'm like, well, I could just drive down there. And we can do our kayaking with the manatees we've always talked about. So we did that. That's where I got my cup.
Love it. Yep.
And so we did that. And she's 14, so this is also very beneficial. She likes spending the whole day in the hotel room.
Yeah, right. That is beneficial, right?
Yeah, and as long as we're staying in the hotel, like the event is happening, that's an element I'm always looking at where I can feel comfortable if I have to get to her fast. Yeah. Or if like a friend has to get to her fast, we can do that. So I took her to Myrtle Beach a couple weeks ago too. So
that's awesome.
Ends up working out. That. Yeah.
Let me tell you why Advantage Home Warranty has resolved so much stress in my marriage. What? A home warranty resolving stress in your marriage? Yeah, that's because there's always things going wrong in the house, whether it's a plumbing leak or electrical issues or the washer goes out. There's things that are always happening. But the amazing thing about Advantage Home Warranty is that all we have to do is pick up the phone and make one call to file a claim or file a claim online. And Advantage Home Warranty takes care of the rest. They send out the technician. They make the repair. If they can't make the repair, they reimburse us for a portion of the cost of replacement. It's really an amazing plan. I carry the Elite plan on my personal home, and it's just taken off a lot of stress to know that Advantage Home Warranty is there when anything goes wrong. So check out Advantage Home Warranty at AdvantageHW.com. That's AdvantageHW.com. I think you should have an Advantage Home Warranty. So another thing that recently you were very public about was struggling with depression. And I know you're not the only one. I mean, so many Americans, I think, struggle with depression. And talk to me about that. Talk to me about your experience with that.
Okay. It's really hard because I'm known as sunshine. And I don't want to say I get imposter syndrome about like my depression or whatnot, but I'm like, people are going to be like, what, Heather has depression? I've had it since I was like 12 or 13.
Wow.
I got diagnosed and way back then by a psychiatrist, and I've always learned to manage it. And I've realized just recently I was talking to my therapist, and I've had a therapist now for going on 5 years. And this is the first time she's like, I think we really need to look into medication. Like, just because I'm 38 and hormonally, like, I'm not handling it well. Sorry. So this is the first time, even with, like, I had postpartum depression and different, which is horrible. If you ever hear, look after, like, your wives and everything like that, like, whenever you have kids. But, like, this was my first, like, really big bout in a very long time that wasn't triggered by anything specifically. Like, I can see, like, little things here and there, and it just kind of became this snowball, and I didn't realize, like, it was, I was spiraling until, like, this past February. And I had this incident happen, and I was very quiet and reserved to myself for like 3 weeks, almost like in this fog. And
which is not Heather normally.
It's not. I wasn't very bright. I tried. I wasn't very bright, very sunshiny. And then one day I called Erin, who I work with, and she's also one of my best friends. And I just start crying on the phone, and I was like, and we both talked it through. I called my therapist. Like, I had taken a break from my therapist for a few months, almost a year. And I was like, when can I get back on your calendar and everything? So I've been working slowly with her and just like taking time and working through things. And even I was talking about in that post using tools like ChatGPT to help me with like mentally working through things and asking me questions. Even most. So
how does that work?
So first off, ChatGPT will also tell you it is not a replacement for therapy.
Right.
It is a tool. It is a assistant. And so I just start asking it questions or give it scenarios. I'm like, and ChatGPT can be a little bit biased towards you. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, but I told it this situation from my point of view, and it would ask questions and everything, and then it told me I was gaslighting myself. So that's when I knew I trusted it, because it's calling me out.
Wow. Wow.
And I was like, okay, that's fair. Because I kept making excuses for this situation and stuff. And it's like, why are you gaslighting yourself?
So you're just having this total conversation with ChatGPT, being honest, right?
Yeah.
Right. And ChatGPT tells you you're gaslighting yourself.
Yes.
Wow.
Like, because I told it the whole situation. I just wrote it all out. It's like my diary now. And then it breaks it down for me. And then, like, one of the things, I didn't like the way it explained it back to me. And I was like, well, no, that's not exactly how it happened. Like, what if this? What if that? It's like, you're going to what if yourself to death? Like, like, you're gaslighting yourself. So that was kind of like where I started doing like that. And so anytime I was starting to get hit with like something in my brain, whether it was brain fog, jealousy, an emotion I just wasn't sure how to handle, I would go into ChatGPT and ask for techniques on how to handle it. Yeah. I've always been really big into meditation, staying grounded, whether you pray or do affirmations, really big into all of that. And so I would ask it for affirmations, ways to ground me and everything. And it just takes time. Depression really takes time to get through. But one of the things that happened a couple weeks ago, I was at this conference in Myrtle Beach, and I'm just like, why am I not like enjoying this like as much as I usually do? So I asked it, I was like, how do I know when I have burnout, depression, or I just don't enjoy something anymore? And it gave me a whole list of like questions for each thing. It's like, this is what burnout means. This is what depression means. This is what loss in interest means. And
Wow.
whatever, again, that gut feeling stuck out, which was I hit burnout, like I'm getting out of my depression, but I hit burnout, like it started working me through that. And then like, okay, we're going to start doing energy check-ins and different things like that to see if things that are fulfilling you are really still fulfilling you, or
Wow.
if you're just a yes person.
Wow. And
Yeah.
you're processing all of this with ChatGPT. So,
Yes.
so how does your therapist feel about it?
She is supportive as long as I tell her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Don't you keep it from me, or else she starts to get jealous. And you know.
No, it's so funny because how I got brought to my therapist a few years ago was TikTok, which is also one of those subjects I started teaching on like 5 years ago. And I remember being in a depressive stage because it can be really hard during the winter.
Sure.
And stuff. We get very gray around here. And so I was going through a really bad breakup at that time and everything. And I remember getting on TikTok one day and just posting a video. Like, I'm just, I'm not handling things well right now. And how am I going to do therapy? Like, even if I had good insurance, like, most insurance doesn't cover therapy.
Yeah.
And one of my friends tagged another friend of hers, and they told me about this program called Open Path Collective, which is a nonprofit organization, and you pay a one-time fee, which was very low. It was something like $65.
Wow.
And you get to kind of pick what your copay is.
Wow. That's amazing.
And I've been on that, like, forever.
So what is the name of it again for our audience?
Open Path Collective.
Open Path Collective. Okay. So if you Google Open Path Collective, you can find it. Okay. That's awesome.
And most of their therapists, I would say, they're going to find you a therapist in your area. And you just kind of go through their profiles. At that time, I did find a therapist that was local to me. She was down in Cincinnati, and but she eventually moved to Puerto Rico.
Well, that's not local, but that's not a bad place to visit, and it guarantees your depression will go away. Yeah. I mean, So
I do telehealth now with her and stuff like that because I just kept with her because I like her.
Yeah.
And she knows me pretty well, and she's very accepting of everything in my life, and she just helps me work through it. So she's just happy. So when like stuff on TikTok would come up I would just start asking her questions like, well, somebody on TikTok said this. So now I've just replaced TikTok with ChatGPT.
Yeah, right. Okay, so as long as you're honest about your TikTok or ChatGPT, it's okay. Well, and then you don't use Gemini, right? I mean...
I don't. Not that much. Like, it's not like this whole cheating thing. I will do it, like... if I'm trying to compare or if I'm just not getting the answer I want from ChatGPT. And it's not because I don't like the answer. I'm just like, there's something missing here.
Right.
So sometimes I'll
just a different perspective.
A different perspective. And I'll throw it in there and just see what it generates. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a step forward. You're doing the thinking and it's generating, different things for you. And yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you're in a performance field because you are up speaking in front of audiences, and even in your real estate, we're in a performance field. We have to be ready to perform in those moments. What do you do to fight through depression? And you've got to walk into a listing appointment, or you've got to meet that first-time home buyer, or you're stepping onto stage and having all of this negative self-talk. What do you do to get yourself ready in the moment? And kind of, put the depression away? How do you do that?
So one of the things is I do have a very, I'm trying to remember how they call it, high performance. Like, I can still manage, like, my everyday life and still live through depression. Okay. Some people do that with anxiety. There's some people who can't get out of bed. Right. I have always said if that comes to my point, then I really need, I need to go somewhere or something, because I can still highly function on it, and it's really what drives me. Yeah. So I love teaching, and that's really easy for me to switch on what they might call like a mask and whatnot, which it's not. I hate the word mask for something like that, but it is like this persona I almost jump into. And even with depression, it's not even necessarily negative self-talk. It's a fog that you are consistently in, and it's hard to think. And like, I was like, am I losing my brain? Am I losing my mind? Like, and so it's just hard to connect almost with a lot of things. With teaching, I get a lot of joy out of teaching. And I think that was also kind of, in my real estate business did go down a little bit. Like when I started, one, doing the teaching a little bit more, but B, also like with the changes in the industry and just, besides interest rates, the buyer's agency,
and
always
always changing market,
always changing market. And so I kind of like gradually not got away from real estate, but I'm not doing as much anymore. And I realized like real estate does bring me joy in some aspects, but not all aspects. So once I realized that, I was okay being at peace. Like if I don't do as many deals this year, it's okay. But I wanted to teach more, so I've been really diving into that, and the work and helping people helps me a lot too. I love to help people. That's just one of those things. Affirmations, though, like I'm very my therapist will tell you I'm very good about keeping a schedule for myself. In the past 5 years, I go and work out in the gym in the morning, and that
Orange Theory. Are you still doing Orange Theory?
No, I'm not doing Orange Theory anymore. The past year, I've been doing. There's this local place called Dayton Functional Fitness. One of my old Orange Theory coaches went over there, and it's more strength training than anything. But that's my drug at the end of the day. It helps get my body set, my mindset. Like it helps start off my day. It's not even fitness related. It's fitness related up here. Like it's working out my brain. It's getting me those endorphins I need to get through the day. I can there are days I know I need to rest my body and sleep. And I can tell you those days are sometimes terrible for me functionality-wise. Because I didn't get that extra kick at the beginning of the day that I wanted. But routine it's hard when you have ADHD, but it is really big.
Yeah, so that's actually, it's one of the questions I ask everyone is, do you have a daily routine? So it sounds like your daily routine, do you get up right away, go and work out?
It's been for the summer 6 a.m. But now that my kid will be going back to school, it'll be the 5 a.m. workouts. Because she's actually going back sooner now.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they got moved from 8:15 to 7:45. So.
Oh, my goodness.
It is what it is.
So you work out. What else is part of your morning routine?
Morning routine, a little cry. No.
A little crying? Is that what you're going to say?
It just kind of depends. But usually a part of my morning routine, on the way there, I'm kind of mentally preparing for my day. Like, what do I have to go for the day as I'm driving to my workout? Sometimes it's a song or music, or lately it's been affirmations on the way there. And if I don't do that on the way there, it's on the way back. So it could be music on the way back or affirmations, whatever. I'm listening to them on the way there. Then
do you record yourself and play it back for your affirmations?
No, I just listen to other people.
Okay. I was just curious. It's okay.
I just find something I like and I just go with that. And then I'll come home. I'll either get myself breakfast, get Charlie breakfast, make her lunch, or just get into the shower. And then once I start getting ready for my day, I'm typically listening to a book or a podcast while I get ready for my day. And that's how I listen. Like, I don't physically read a lot. I just listen. And that's part of my morning routine. And then my music is really for my drive into the office, if I'm driving into the office or wherever I'm going that day. And then my routine goes away.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. We can help with that. No, what's your music? I'm just curious more than anything. What does Sunshine listen to?
I listen to a lot of different things. I like mainstream music. I always say I like popular stuff of mainstream music. So it was really funny a few years ago for my Spotify top 5. They did actually genres. And it said, first one was something like girly pop. Second one was classic rock.
Wow.
Then there was Latin pop. And then, so I do really listen to an eclectic music. I don't like a lot of hardcore rap, and I don't like a lot of, screaming metal. One of my best friends, he listens to screaming metal, and he'll send me a song, and I'll listen to it because I, want to support my friend, love on my friend, and then I will be like, I'll bop to this with you, but it gives me anxiety.
Yeah, right.
I listen to actually to help me focus at the office. I'm typically listening to classical music.
Okay.
Or if you go on YouTube, you can look up ADHD music, and it's like either binaural beats.
Wow.
Or I listen to the Mario theme song.
Wow.
So, yeah, you can look it up. ADHD Mario, and it's 3 hours of Mario, and I feel it works for guys a lot more.
Yeah.
And I'm
because we grew up as kids, totally focused, dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun.
I told our marketing guy at my office about this, and he's like, this was the best thing you could have ever told me. He's like, I got so much work done. He's like, it felt like I was gamifying marketing.
That is amazing. I love it.
For me, it's more like the classical. I like that a little bit more. But yeah, it's funny. But probably my number one person is Taylor Swift. She did just announced last night. I was pointing out your orange.
Oh yeah,
here,
right. Hey, and by the way, got it at Costco, not in Florida. So anyway, but yeah. Yeah, so you were saying before we came on that you are definitely a Swiftie.
I'm definitely a Swiftie.
Is Charlie a Swiftie?
No, not really, but the whole reason I went to the Eras tour is because she has to go.
And then you're the one that walked away
I did the dress up. I wore a wig. I was a total blend of the Lover era with Speak Now kind of vibes. And my kid just wore a t-shirt. My kid tries to be the opposite of me, but she also deals with some social anxiety and stuff like that. So first off, her wanting to go to a concert, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then a Taylor Swift concert, I'm like, do you even listen to Taylor Swift? Yeah. And at the concert, she just sat there and watched it, and I was like, dance, how could you, the literal stadium shaking during Shake It Off, it can be felt on seismic meters for earthquakes. Goodness. And I'm like, how could you not dance? But she's just
did she like it?
She liked it.
She did. Okay. She did. Well, and honestly, that's the thing is though, that I bet when she looks back as an adult, she's going to remember, oh, my mom took me to Taylor Swift, and it was awesome.
And my mom was crazy.
Right? Yeah, but it's going to be because she was with her mom. I mean, and you talked about your relationship with your mom now. Have you always been close to your mom?
Not always. And I think we both can admit that. We were kind of, head to head. I was her firstborn, and she never thought she was going to have kids, never thought she was going to marry my dad, and so, it was a little bit of a strained relationship, growing up, but, she still had love for me and everything.
Love enough that she bought a house.
Yeah. We get along way better as an adult kind of thing, and we've both grown. And
well, now I'm really curious to hear the answer to this question as I hit some rapid fire stuff. So
fine.
I always like to know who the greatest influence in your life and career has been. And I want to know, who's a person, or maybe it's a few people, that you would say, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here today.
Okay. I've mentioned a few names so far. Obviously my mom, because without her support at home, I couldn't do what I'm doing literally right now.
Yeah.
As far as real estate wise, the person who sat me down on the couch was Andrew Sims. He used to be the AE. Now he has his own company. Used to work for Century Lock, different things like that. He's the one that sat me down. He's like, I need you to focus, and he got me really on that right path.
Yeah.
Some other people like that just inspired me to get into speaking. Without realizing, I think they inspired me. Were Sean Carpenter, you had him. I really enjoyed him. Paula Montefiore was one. Terry Watson was another person.
He's amazing.
But Terry was the first one to really look at me. I think I had met him twice by this point. And he looked at me and he's like, I really hope you get into speaking one day.
Wow.
He saw it in me.
Yeah,
and now we're friends.
I need to have Terry Watson on the show because he's probably one of the most inspiring speakers that I've ever been in an audience hearing him speak. But that guy just has a way, like you like to connect with people. That guy has a way of connecting with people like no other. And so hopefully we can have him on this show. Yeah. You can help with that, right?
Yeah, I probably could.
Yeah, now that we're going to have to tag him, he's going to have to listen to this, be like, oh, well, they want me on the show. Okay, well, you dropped some pretty big names there. And Sean Carpenter, he was on last week's episode, and he just dropped all kinds of wisdom and nuggets in here. So,
and another thing too, like, is Alex Camilo and Craig Grant, who I run the Beats conference with now.
Right.
They were really big influences in getting me like on the right path into speaking. Like, they had started. They picked me out of a crowd one day, and they're just not a crowd. They knew who I was. But they picked me out one day, like, I think, again, San Diego, NAR, San Francisco, one of those two. And they're just like, hey, we're doing this beta program for a speaker academy. And that's kind of how it started there. And then Craig asked me to be a part of his real estate technology group, and I became the social sweetheart. I named that myself. And then Alex asked me to start writing articles for his group, and then we started this conference thing because one of the other conferences.
Yeah, just for the audience, BEATS means
bringing educators and associations together for success. I told them I'd never be able to get that, but now
But
I
you
do.
did.
Yeah.
You did. I think I would have been pretty close to getting it.
Yeah.
But I got to go to the conference in Oklahoma City in May. If you're looking to be a real estate speaker or educator, it's a phenomenal conference. I can't say enough about it. It's going to be in April of next year. And, of course, Heather is one of the people up front the whole time, being sunshine. And
you know my title with that?
What is
Director of Smiles.
Director of Smiles. That's perfect.
Isn't it adorable?
It's so perfect. No, but she, you guys did an awesome job at that conference. So if you are looking to get into speaking, I highly recommend it. It's something that I feel like it had a lot of impact on me. I took pages and pages of notes, made great connections with people. So okay, wait. Now I got to keep rapid firing. Okay, if you go back and give advice to yourself in your first year of real estate, what would you tell yourself?
Focus on one thing.
Okay,
Focus
good.
on one thing and get on a team.
Okay.
Those are the two things I really wish I had done. I think if you are going into this, if you are a type A go-getter, you aren't afraid of anything personality, you go get them.
Yeah.
Go get them. Like, you can do this in your first year. Even if you're not and you're only halfway there, I am not. I want to learn everything beforehand. And so that's why I was too nervous, like, to get out there. And I would go try a for sale by owner once and knock on their door, and they would yell at me, and I couldn't do it ever again. I hate rejection. So you have to get used to it in this business.
You do.
But, like,
Lots of it.
Yeah, cold calling, like all of it.
It's so
I had
true.
to find my own way, but I really wish I had joined a team from the very get-go.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice. Okay. We talk about ultimate success on this show a lot. And so what does ultimate success in life look like for Heather?
Ultimate success in life for me is basically that the people around me are happy and happily influenced by me, and I am also content and happy. And I think it's really hard to like to strive for happiness per se. Content is where I like to live.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay if I'm feeling content. I think people are always trying to chase that like happy feeling, and we can't be happy all the time.
Right.
Like, but if I'm content, if I'm able to pay my bills and have a little bit of money to travel, that's why I really like doing the speaking too, is because it gives me the opportunity to go see the world.
Right.
I grew up with a truck driver dad, so I actually got to travel around the country a lot. So I have that travel bug in me.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so what life lesson have you learned the hard way that you wish someone had told you sooner?
Oh, what life lesson? Oh gosh, what life lesson haven't I learned? I would say, not everybody is your friend. Also, people please. Don't try to be a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Learn to say. I could give you so many lessons. Now they're gonna just start spilling out of me. I remember actually, this is a really great story. How to say no, because I am not very great at saying no. I'm a yes person.
Yep.
And I was in the Dayton Realtors Leadership Academy in 2018. And Mary Lou Butcher-Ruff, she's out of Cincinnati. She was the trainer that day. She does leadership training. And she looks at me. She's like, you have to say no more. And I'm like, because she's like, how many committees you're on? I'm like, 7.
Yeah, right.
Like, she's like, you have to say no. And she ends up mailing me personally a book on how to say no. And I remember, and I was in a class with all these really influential people in this area at that time. But I remember being in a committee in January of 2020, and I heard somebody say, "Oh, it's okay, Heather can do it." And I raised my hand, and I was like, no. Oh my gosh. Like, and so I think that was the start of like my empowerment journey.
Yeah.
Like,
are you better about it now?
I am better about it now. I'm still very nice when saying it. I almost don't want to give away what I say, but like I'll say something like, my plate is full. Like,
yeah.
And I wish I had more room on it for you. Maybe there's a few appetizers I could dish out for you. But, like, which is true, because I always do want to be helpful. I don't want to necessarily say no unless if I really feel convicted. Like, it's a no thing.
I struggle with the same thing. So it's funny you're saying that. I really, really have a hard time saying no. And what helps me the most now is like my staff that you see in the room here and upstairs. I have staff, and they always know when they hear someone's asking me to do something or whatever. My business partner in my company, he'll literally sit there and go, no, like, mouthing no to me. But anyway, for those on the podcast, you probably didn't see me. I was mouthing no. So if you weren't in real estate or a real estate educator, what life passion would you be pursuing right now?
I would probably still be teaching somewhere somehow.
Yeah.
It's always been an element of like what I do. I joked a few years ago because I wrote a speech when I was on NARYPN about me wanting to be a kindergarten teacher, and then I became a realtor or a teacher of realtors. And it's really funny, that gets the staff going a lot.
Wait a minute. Okay, you've talked to me about this before. So why do those two things go together, Heather?
So I remember just saying, like, I remember wanting to be a kindergarten teacher, but now I am a teacher of real estate. And for those of you who are just listening, I give kind of a face. People laugh. And then I take a moment because I'm like, I really don't want this to be a bad thing. Like, I think people feel almost insulted sometimes. Like, most people find it funny.
Yeah.
But there's some people that are going to feel insulted. And I'm like, this is not a bad thing, because it's helped me in wanting to be a kindergarten teacher and having the training to do so as a daycare teacher at one point. Has helped me be a better teacher towards realtors. One of those things is like when you're planning events, like I say that you need to have a snack time. Like, events are just better with snacks. And we also like our drinks. It's just our drinks have a little bit more fun to it and stuff. And I'm not, saying that to promote like drinking or anything like that, because I'm very much a big advocate on the mocktail and everything. But that was like one of those things. The other thing is, not only as a society are we experiencing more ADHD and attention deficit, as a realtor community, we are doing that as well. And there's been so many studies that prove that short learning is way better than long learning.
Okay.
And so I always say, when you're doing your education events, you need to keep it short and sweet and to the point, and then have them build up on each other. It's something like 52 minutes is just where like that threshold is. So if you have an hour-long class, that's amazing. And then you go and take a break, do something, and maybe have another hour-long class. Like, you weren't made to sit for 4 hours and everything. And then I'm trying to remember. And the other thing is to get creative. Realtors, we think out of the box.
Right, we do.
I hope you're doing it legally.
Yeah.
And ethically. I do teach on that.
Yes.
But like, we think out of the box, and so do kindergartners. They're coloring outside the lines and everything legally. They're still on the paper.
Right. There we go.
And so I think that's just like the beautiful thing on comparing the two. I wrote this speech as I was sitting there about to go up on stage. Like,
Wow. Yep, that's good.
That's what this is like. And so I think I would be doing some sort of teaching or training element no matter what I was doing. I've always had that naturally in me. I was a daycare teacher. I was a camp counselor. Shock there.
Yeah.
And then like even a lot of my customer service positions, I was always training the newbies and everything.
Right.
So that's one of the things. Also, I have a knack for event planning.
Yep.
So I event plan, and that's one of my other side gigs is that I do a lot of event planning for people, and I'll throw that stuff together, which reminds me I need to do something.
Yeah. ADD, right there.
ADD,
There it is.
I knew
Squirrel.
I forgot to add something on my list today. But like I love event planning as well. So I would, and that's one thing like everybody always wants me to do is like event planning. But,
Yeah.
I really
So
do
what, the
think
most
those two
time
things-
consuming piece? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say I have felt like, I don't know. Do you guys feel it? It's like the air is lighter in here with Heather in the room, like it's sunshine. And I've really enjoyed our conversation today. And I hope that you are able to take some away from this. I mean, we've talked about real life and we've talked about real estate and education. And one thing for sure, if you are listening from anywhere and you find out that Heather Haase is coming to your area, please, you've got to go to one of her classes. Where are you going to be this fall?
Oh gosh. I am going to be all sorts of places, and I'm currently trying to actually come out with like a certification program on my own to
Very
where
cool.
like brokerages, title companies, associations can brand it to themselves basically.
Okay.
And it's going to be like a 4 or 5 part series of classes, and then
That's awesome.
their agents or whatever can get a certification. So I'm working on getting that out. But in the meantime, so far what I've been booked for this fall is I'll be at the Tennessee Realtors Convention,
Okay.
which is in Asheville, North Carolina. I'll be at the Georgia Realtors Convention, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. I will be in the North Carolina Realtors Convention, which is in Cherokee. And then I will also be at the Southeast Minnesota Realtors Association teaching a class for them as well.
That's awesome.
And then you will always find me at the NAR convention. I'm surprised I didn't mention that. I'm the NAR vice chair for convention.
No
this
way.
year.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So you'll be up in front of people with that too.
I will be up. Not so much this year. Vice chairs don't get as much face time.
Okay.
But next year, while we're in New Orleans, oh yeah.
Yeah, you will be the chair.
Yes,
Yep.
I will be the chair.
That is very cool. You know, one thing that I've noticed throughout our conversation today is that you are a person that is continually contributing to those around you and to our industry. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so I know it's had an impact on me. And I'm just so grateful that you're here today to share with our audience. So listen, where can we find you? Last question, probably important to know.
You can find me at my house.
No, okay. Okay, let's start over. No,
I'm right here next to you, Mark.
yeah, right. Yeah, hello.
So you can find me online, always Facebook, Heather Haase, Haase, or Instagram, TikTok, But You Can Call Me Sunshine.
But you can call me Sunshine. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Hey, remember, on YouTube, subscribe to the channel and like this video, hit that little bell. You can follow us there. But then anywhere you get your podcasts, also consider following us there, listening to us in the car. I'm really enjoying these longer format podcasts that we're doing where we're getting to do some interviews. And today has been a good one for the books with Heather Haase. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you so much.
You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.